Hey guys, it's YOU WACK. So today we're going to be talking about another event, not about the Year of the Dog event, which as you guys know, the Chinese New Year does take place around the end of January. So we are going to get like that big event towards like the middle part of January, along with like the new crossover skins, like with Mei and Zarya and whatnot. But there's one other event that we haven't really been talking a lot lately, which is the Uprising event. So I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with the Uprising event. It's like the first in-game lore event that has ever happened really in all of Overwatch. Like with the Halloween event, that had like its own little story, had its own little campaign, but it was more or less just a holiday event. This was just totally fiction. It wasn't anything real, and it was, at least in my opinion, kind of like a big hit because with the game mode especially, it was like one of the first ever big campaign missions, other than just Junkenstein's Revenge, where you actually had to go in. There was like a big story. You actually had to defend King's Row, and there was an ending, and it was really awesome. Now, recently there was like an interview talking about Uprising. This is like the first little taste that we ever had about it, and the expansion on it. Now, the only little taste that we had was with like this little interview with Jeff Kaplan, where they talked about like the future of the Uprising event, like the expansions, and pretty much the Blizzard team, they want to keep their ideas under wrap because they want to get people very hyped and excited, but they did say that they're going to be expanding on it, and what that could mean, I'm not entirely sure, but that's what today's video is supposed to talk about, what they can really do whenever it comes to Uprising, because I feel like this is like the easiest event whenever it comes to just bringing a bunch of content, more specifically on the gameplay side of things. When it comes to skins, that's in its own different realm. This is something that they don't really, they can build on something because, well, they already had the campaign mission, and they can just do whatever they want because it's their own event, it's their own story, and they don't have to be tied to like a specific theme, really. Now, you can kind of tell where I'm getting at with this because, again, there wasn't much said when it came to this event, but literally it could be as simple as just wanting to expand on that simple campaign mission, because we all know what happened. Just the story was very, like, I wouldn't say even vague, just not really like too detailed, because it was Tracer's very first mission, and you just go in and just get King's Row back from the Omnics and the OR-15s and whatnot. But what I'm kind of getting at, what I'm kind of hoping, is kind of like the very first like Overwatch campaign missions, because as you guys know, Overwatch never shipped with any like campaign, whereas with like Halo, Call of Duty, in Battlefield, all these like AAA FPS games have some sort of story. Whether it's good or bad, that's for you guys to decide. But especially when it came to Halo, the reason why I love Halo 3 so much is because it had an awesome multiplayer, but also an awesome story and campaign mission. Now, Overwatch obviously is missing that campaign side of things, but at least with the Uprising event, this could possibly be the very first campaign story that we see, not just with one single mission. I'm talking about like a whole series of different types of missions, whatever it could be, like Soldier 76's very first mission, or maybe it's like the recreation Overwatch where Winston calls everybody, and then you have to go onto a battlefield with like Winston, Soldier, Reinhardt. You know, with the cinematic with Reinhardt where he got called back to Overwatch, that can be like have a whole different meaning too. There's just so many possibilities with just different missions that we can all play with this seasonal event. Another thing that you guys also have to think about and realize is the addition of the brand new heroes, of more specifically with Doomfist and Moira, because you guys have to remember Doomfist and Moira both belong to the Blackwatch team, and that's kind of like the anti-team of Overwatch. So obviously, as it stands right now, Moira and Doomfist have no like real reason to be in the game other than just being, well, heroes that we play in. But with this possible expansion of the Uprising mission, maybe this could be even a mission where you're like the Overwatch team and you're going against the Blackwatch team, or possibly it could still be like a PvP type game mode where 4 players are the Blackwatch team, like it's like Reaper, Moira, Widowmaker, and like Sombra or whatever, or maybe Doomfist, one of the 5 Blackwatch members, and also 4 other Overwatch members. Again, this is more or less just turning out to be an idea video based on the Uprising interview, but also just based on the Uprising story, because again, they're going to expand, and they're going to expand hard on this. But there's also one last idea that I wanted to just throw out there pertaining to like a boss mission, because as you guys remember with the Winter Wonderland event, Mei's Yeti Hunt, okay, just stick with me, Mei's Yeti Hunt came into fruition, and this is like the first game mode that we ever had like a boss mission for. Now, again, it was fun, it was cute, but it wasn't anything like too innovative other than just bringing the idea of the game type into an official Overwatch game mode. Now, remember back in Junkenstein's Revenge how that was like the first PvE type game mode and kind of like the first campaign, and then they kind of expanded on that same idea and brought the Uprising events. What I'm kind of guess here is that there's probably going to be some big type boss fight relating to like a campaign story, whether it's going against a big old 5,000 HP Doomfist, or maybe a big old Moira, or going against Sombra, or just something like that. There might also be like some sort of boss fight at the end of the Uprising campaign mission. Again, these are all just ideas of how they can possibly just expand on Uprising, but also implementing the brand new heroes, which is Moira and Doomfist more specifically. Really, I wanted to just tie in the Blackwatch team with the Overwatch team, because the story behind the whole entire Overwatch story is so awesome, but they don't ever tell it other than just the cinematics. And when they do tell the story, there's a bunch of loose ends that really aren't tied, but this is finally the perfect opportunity where they could just introduce all these ideas that they just told and tie up the loose ends with this brand new campaign. And these are just all ideas based on this little interview that just came with the Uprising event. We still have to go through the Winter Wonderland event and also the Year of the Dog Chinese New Year event, but again, those two events are awesome, but the Uprising event, there's so much potential. Like, this is the biggest event that could come to us whenever it comes to like a game mode, and possibly just expanding on Overwatch, more specifically with the single player and PvE type atmosphere, because it seems like a lot of people love the PvE type style, and of course the PvP, but more or less just the PvE style, where you're just going against generated bots, getting told a story, and being satisfied with the end goal, which is finishing the campaign mission. But you guys gotta let me know, would you like something like this? Would you like a boss fight? And would you like a whole campaign series where there's 5 different missions? You guys gotta let me know. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. My voice is still trying to get better day in, day out. I'm still trying to heal it, so hopefully it can get better soon. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.